Okay, the schedule is out for the Vikings 2024 season. Um, this is different, a little different this year because it's hard to even like look at a schedule and be like, okay, this is what's going to happen because we don't even know who's going to be the quarterback. Like the week one quarterback could be two different guys. Um, but so I'll just go. I guess I'll just go through it week by week. We start out week one. We are at the New York Giants. Um, First matchup since the miserable playoff game. Uh, Daniel Jones will not be having Ed Donatel on the sidelines to make him look good this time. Hopefully, Flores can mess with him. And of course, and again, we don't know who the quarterback's going to be. That's we're months away from finding out anything about that. Um, but it would be Darnold. If it's Darnold, he's going back to the stadium that he played in to start out. And then week after that, home opener, 49ers coming into town. Of course, that was the signature win of last season. Um, feels doesn't that game beating the 49ers feel like about 10 years ago? Um, that was the Monday night game where Kirk played a fabulous game. What turned out to be his last game in Minnesota. Um, Obviously, the 49ers should be very good again, so that'll be a tough matchup. Then we stay home for week three. We get the Texans. Obviously, they were the big upstart team last year with Stroud, and um, they're probably going to be a trendy pick to maybe even be a Super Bowl contender this year. I mean, sometimes those teams that really have a big pop up year, then they kind of settle back a little bit. So I certainly don't think that's some sort of no chance game. Um, and then week four we go to Green Bay. I like the fact that we're going to Green Bay. Early in the season, don't have to worry about it being freezing cold or snow or any of that sort of stuff. I always that's one of the things you always look at is the Chicago and Green Bay road games. When are they going to be during the season? But yeah, so that's not. I mean, obviously that's not an easy schedule. That's your September schedule, and 3 of the 4 games you're facing teams that you know were in the playoffs last year and at least won a playoff game. So you know if you could get out of that 2-2, I think they'd be very happy with that. Moving on here, as I got a little cheat sheet here, and then the first game of the schedule that was announced like early in the day. The we knew we were giving up a home game to play in London, and it turns out that the game that is being played in London is against the New York Football Jets and Aaron Rodgers. So we're not going to get, unless you travel overseas, you're not going to get the chance to boo Aaron Rodgers' ridiculous conspiracy loving ass. Um, who knows if the Jets will be good? I mean, who knows at this point? I mean, even Aaron Rodgers is going to be any good anymore at this point. Um, but we've never lost one of these. I don't believe we've ever lost one of these overseas games. So hopefully we can keep that going. And then we get the bye. You know, there's multiple ways of looking at it. I think the early bye is not preferred, but you know, some years you're going to get the bye early. Some years you're going to get it late. Last year we got it pretty late. I think our bye last year might have even been like Thanksgiving week. So got to have the bye early, but whatever. Coming out of the bye, we host the frauds, the Lions. We'll see what they have to offer with their newly overpaid quarterback. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going at the Lions. I'll never stop. but obviously important game. I mean, if you have ambitions of contending in the division, these games are very big. Yeah, and then we go short week after that. Go to LA to play the Rams. The Rams are probably going to be pretty decent again. So that's a tough one. We played them on a Thursday night. Kirk's first year was that was the big shootout game. That was still, they were playing at the Coliseum. Um, so that's a tough. So that's the October schedule. Not an easy schedule early. Um, I think it eases up kind of after this, but yeah, you're gonna be what, 7 games through in October. By October, boy, if you know you can get out of that with 3 wins, maybe even 4. Boy, I think you're gonna be sitting pretty for playoff contention and maybe even the division. Turning now to November, we only get one home game in November. It's the first game of the month against the Colts. Be the first Colts trip here since the greatest comeback in the history of the National Football League. Remember that? Remember when we had stuff like that to enjoy? Colts kind of competitive. Anthony Richardson, I assume, will be back in the fold. And then we get a very rare 3-game road trip. We go at Jacksonville. Not an easy game. At Tennessee, little easier, but you never know. And then because they can't stop making us do these things, or no, wait, my bad. I got the Bears games mixed up. Then we go to the Bears, and that's not the primetime game. So obviously that's one of the 2 outdoor road games in the division. This one's late November. I think it's even after Thanksgiving. No, it is actually before Thanksgiving. But it's still late in the month, so we could have weather. Bears, I'm sure, will get hyped up because of Caleb Williams. This will be our first game against him. We've, the Soldier Field, of course, we've won games there a lot now in recent years, but I 20 years of it being a real grind, I still can't get over it. So, an easier month there in November, but not, still not easier. And then December, then following the 3 straight road games, then we get 3 straight home games. I've never seen that. I've never seen a schedule before where we get 3 and 3 like that. Start out with the Cardinals here at home. Certainly that's going to look like one of the easier games on the schedule. Hopefully we can win that one. And then the week after that, it will be the one that everyone's going to be waiting all season for. It's the Falcons coming into town. It's the return of Kirk. Assuming he's healthy and keeps going that long. I mean, that's what, week 14, I think. It takes it. So it's hoping to be earlier in the season, but that'll be a big that'll be a big throwback to the Kirk Wars. Even seen some discussions where you go like, what are you going to do when Kirk plays here? You're going to boo him. It's like, no, unless you're an asshole, you give him some applause when they mention his name. They introduce him or whatever at the start of the game. A quarterback for the Falcons, Kirk Cousins. You give him some applause, and then you cheer for the Vikings to kick his ass. It's very simple. You don't have to be an asshole and boo Kirk Cousins, but I'm sure there are some fans and certain media members in this town who will do that. And then the third home game, that's the primetime game, the one Monday night game, our only primetime game as of now on the schedule. We barely even have any games that aren't at noon. I prefer the noon games just because it's like it's early in the day. Let's get it out of the way. Um, and we're hosting the Bears on Monday Night Football. I don't know why every single year they keep putting a Vikings Bears game on prime time. I don't know why that is. Almost every single year it seems like. And of course we just had one last year. That was that grotesque game that we didn't give up a touchdown, but we lost. Um, so I don't know. I don't know why they keep doing that to us. And then our one road game of December, week after that, we go to Seattle. And, Seahawks could be okay. Who knows? We never win in Seattle. I think we still haven't won in Seattle since the Chester Taylor 99-yard touchdown. Or no, it wasn't 99 yards, like 90-yard touchdown run game back in 06. But all these other losses were against Russell Wilson, so maybe since he's gone now, maybe we can win that one. And then home finale, we get Green Bay right around New Year's again. Hopefully it goes a little better than it did last year. I think Green Bay is going to probably be pretty tough this year, but hopefully we're tough too. And then finishing up, we go week 18 at the Lions. There's always a division game there for week 18. Hopefully that game means something. Hopefully it means something to us. Hopefully it means nothing to the Lions, because hopefully they've been exposed even more as frauds and collapsed and not contended at all. Definitely the schedule early is tougher than the schedule late. And if you're maybe breaking in JJ McCarthy, we'll see what the decision is with the quarterback. But if you can just kind of hold your own through like that first 2 months, if you kind of just get into November and you're still like 500, yeah, you can contend for the playoffs. I hope we don't have a kind of a rough start of the season, and then we get the tank Nazis calling for a tank. Well, they shouldn't call for a tanking because we've got our quarterback. So shut the fuck up. But yeah, hopefully we can tread water, or at least be decent through the first. Like this is such a different season coming up. I'm not going in with like a playoff berth as like an expectation, because you just don't know. If you are playing McCarthy, it's a rookie quarterback, and yeah, he could be good, but a lot of them aren't good immediately. And there could be a lot of growing pains, and division could be tough. If the Bears improve, the division's going to be tough, and that's a third of your games. So but I think if they can get through those first 2 months in decent shape, the schedule does ease up. Like the road games aren't as bad, the home games maybe are a little easier. I look at it, and I'm thinking maybe if things go well, you can get maybe 9 or 10 wins. Not like some the last few years where it's like, well, best case scenarios, well, you win a division and win 12 or 13 games. Well, I think that's asking a lot. Not that I'm like writing off the season by any means. It's just trying to be realistic. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. If you're breaking in McCarthy, or even if you're going with Darnold for much of the season. And I don't completely dismiss the possibility that KOC could kind of tap into Sam Darnold and get him to play his best football. And obviously, I think the defense can take another step in year 2 with Flores. But again, got to try to temper expectations somewhat. But yeah, I think obviously we went 7-10 last year with just a disaster of major injuries and a very tough schedule. and just no luck at all. Like if you just have a little bit of like normalcy in some of those areas coming up for this season, you know, and you, I feel like they can probably get adequate quarterback play right, this season, regardless of who's out there. So can the defense be good? Can the running game be a little better? You know, we'll see. But I think, I think 9 wins, 10 wins. I think that's a fair thing to even not maybe not expect, but to hope for. Um, but we'll see. I mean, it's what, mid-May, and we don't have any. I think they've had rookie mini camp. They're gonna have like an OTA thing probably soon. It's like there's not gonna be a lot for a while now. Um, Filling out the roster here and there. Certain names have come up. They might a couple of guys have been named as maybe receivers that we might still get. Or cornerbacks, but it's mostly going to be nothing going on now for a few months until training camp gets going. And they did also announce who the preseason games. I saw the one home preseason game was against the Raiders, but I mean preseason. But that game will be of some interest because that'll probably feature the first game action in town for JJ McCarthy. I'm sure we'll do some of those joint practices again that they've been doing the last few years. So, all right, so that's the schedule. You can get that information anywhere else without having to spend 16 minutes of your time, but you came here and you got the information and my deep analysis that you can only get here, and I thank you. So let's have patience. The season will be here soon enough.